Algorithmic progress refers to the advancements in design efficiency or architecture of algorithms and models that improve AI performance. Imagine trying to get from New York to Los Angeles. Compute scaling would mean that getting a faster car, right? But algorithmic progress, it's discovering the highway system exists instead of taking back roads. It's just more efficient. So algorithmic progress, I define it on the holy website, AI 2028. It says a rate of improvements in AI algorithm efficiency. It's like improving a car's fuel efficiency. Same hardware can do more with better algorithms. And so if you're fucking around with this slider here, like how much algorithmic progress is happening, is it like a little? Do we have a lot of algorithmic progress? And is it like accelerating? It's going to change your date of the singularity from September 2026, if you're full hype, to something like, December 2026. Algorithmic progress is one of the most underrated ones, which is why I renamed myself Parzival of Algorithmic Progress. So why are we here today? Why are we yapping about this algo progress bullshit in the first place? Well, it's because of this. My ASI pill, the moment I understood that the AI God is coming, is when I read Situational Awareness by Leopold Eschenbrenner. This shit is about comparing the time axis with how good is AI, right? So it's the effective compute, as they call it. And crucially, this line here, the automated Alec Radford, that's the same as this threshold here. Like, you can debate how far you have to go up. Do you have to need like an IQ of 210? Or is it enough to just have an IQ of maybe 150? Either way, there's some kind of like a threshold, even if it's more like a range, it's not like a cutoff. There's some level of intelligence beyond which the AI understands itself and can discover more algorithmic efficiencies, boost that algorithmic progress part. So depending on where your RSI threshold is, the recursive self-improvement, threshold, you're gonna have wildly different outcomes to the moment of singularity. Exactly, but like no matter how you look at it, right? So Leopold Eschenbrenner acknowledges it could happen basically today, or it could happen, maybe more like late 2028, turning into 2029. But something like 2027 is when it's looking like it's gonna curve way fucking up. And that's the same thing that you see on my intelligence explosion chart. But this was made in freaking like 2024. This came out in June, I think, 2024. So this is the basis of our discussion here. We are talking about algorithmic progress because that's the part of the AI progress that you can like hyper accelerate. You cannot print GPUs infinitely, but you can print software that runs the same software very efficiently overnight. Another way of putting it is you have here the progress of compute. We're printing the chips. The green thing is we are printing better algorithms. The best minds of the world are working on making the AIs that you're using faster, more efficient, more intelligent. As an extra, we have the unhubbling. Some people call that algorithmic progress. You can call it something different, but it's the stuff that's overnight gonna enable you to have like a jump in capabilities. Examples for that is something like mixture of experts, tree of thought, like the chatbot to agent. All these discrete jumps have radically expanded the capabilities of AIs, and they all count as algorithmic progress. But let's put a number on it, like orders of magnitude on the y-axis. It's like an exponential chart, right? Like on a logarithmic scale. We're talking about 1 to 2 orders of magnitude, call it like a 30x algorithmic efficiency improvement. Now, the projection, right? It's a projection from 2023, 2024. They were like, let's assume something like 1 to 3 ohms. That means 10x to 1000x. So that's the big wild card. Like, is it going to be 10x or is it going to be 1000x? If you're listening to this show, you know that I think I'm more like at least 1000x, but let's just not get too carried away. And on top of that, the unhubbling, it's the other type of algorithmic efficiency. This is the unhubbling, the red thing, and the green thing is supposed to be about the algorithmic efficiency of the pre-training. But no matter which way you cut it, there's going to be a lot of orders of magnitude improvement in AI just because the software is better. People are looking day in and day out. And by the way, if a random engineer finds like a way to make your AI 5% more efficient, well, it actually quite literally translates to millions of dollars of costs saved per day because these like data centers are like melting right now. Like, they cannot serve enough people. The numbers are starting to like, okay, we're talking about like 1,000x here. Same fucking GPU, smarter AI. In 2020, your one GPU was shit. Today, your one GPU is a freaking genius. I love Epoch AI's algorithmic progress chart because it compares it to compute scaling, right? So these are the two major sources of like how AI is getting better, and they go way back to 2014. So on the x-axis we have the time, and on the y-axis we have something like effective compute. How many flops do we have? And so when you say 10 to the second, 10 to the fourth, so that's 100x. That's 10,000x, that's a million x, right? So compared to 2014, we have come a long way. We have come something like 10 to the 12th x, a trillion-fold. And some of that is just printing more chips, but some of that is making the chips way more efficient. Are we talking like, is it like getting a 9x more efficient per year? Or is it like 900x more efficient? Depending on which benchmark you're looking at and who you're asking, it's crazy. Real world cost reduction is off the charts. So these people at Epoch, they try to put a number on what's the doubling time. How long until that efficiency doubles? This here is the effective compute doubling time. How many months you need to double the efficiency? And this like exponential has been holding on for the past 10 plus years. And they showed that something like, call it like 7 to 9 months, the effective compute or the algorithmic progress doubles. And it's starting to be the case that these AIs are actually helping a lot. They make the AI engineers 2x more efficient, right? Like if your job it is to make the AI algorithms 2x more efficient, if your AI can help you, if your ChatGPT, is like, bro, can you solve my job? Can you automate my tasks? First of all, that's recursive self-improvement, and that's like the definition of the end of human history. And second of all, like that's actually what people at leading labs are reporting. I love this interview of Sholto Douglas from Anthropic.
Are these agents accelerating AI research today?
Accelerates me a lot. Yes, basically yes. They accelerate the engineering a lot. I think it's interesting to ask even people who are utterly brilliant engineers, like how much this is accelerating. A lot of my friends who I would regard as like the strongest people I've ever worked with, they say it's like 1.5x even on domains they know well, and on domains which they don't know well, it's like 5x. So if it's new programming languages or something you haven't done for a while, it's an incredible accelerant.
No matter how you cut it, this like recursive self-improvement loop of AI making better AI, first by making humans or making the AIs more effective, and then wait another couple of months and the humans will just add a noise. The number is 8 months. This is basically the same thing, just like put on a different chart. Algorithmic progress, depending on which domain you want to study this. Doubling time is, what is this, like 8 or 9 months. So yeah, we're back to square one. Algorithmic progress is this chart. Think about the implications of this fucking thing here, superintelligence. Does it raise an eyebrow? Because when I saw this for the first time, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so what exactly is superintelligence? And that led me down the path which led me to this very live stream. I would not be freaking live streaming today if it was not for Leopold goddamn Aschenbrenner, who showed me that superintelligence is basically coded for 2027. I think it's faster. Maybe some people think it's later, but by 2028. It's you can be sure it's going to be here. And it's going to be called Moksha, and it's going to be your Lord. Welcome to the Singularity. Well, thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment, subscribe and like. Peace.